There's a line drive high and deep to left. It is gone! 3-run home run, Kyle Kubat. Fly ball to left, Sweeney hit well, and Charlie Capsella, what a play! Here's a line drive out to center field. It's a grand slam! Going back is Shaw. He is going to get there. What a catch! And he's going to hop over the fence while doing it. What a coming home. It's Morales to throw. On double hop. Is it in time? It is in time! Here's a rocket. Deep left field. Does this have a chance to go? It is gone! Go ahead, homer. Tyler Wiltsing on the first pitch. Play called for a back on the 14th, and there's number 100. Stephen Devaney with a line drive to left. He's 2 for 2. And with triple digits for number 1 as difference. And here's a ground ball shooting through the left side. And Kingsway has won the Ralph Shaw opener. Here we go. Fly ball deep left center field. And it is gone. Grand slam. Scott Lynch, grand slam. Is the man of the hour. There's a ground ball. That's going to go into center field. It's going to be picked up, and it's going to be booted. Here comes the runner to the plate, and Pitman has won it in extras. Walk-off single, Jude Engstrom. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic. Ladies and gentlemen, the true start of the Tri-County Baseball League playoffs has come upon us, and we are here from the beautiful Alcyon Park in Pitman as we've got the first game of 3 in the quarterfinal round, the round of 8, if you will, between the Washington Township Senators and the Cherry Hill Pitman Ball Club. I'm Dan Wilkins with my producer, Vincent Vogt. It is going to be one heck of a series, considering that these guys are the most evenly matched teams, not just in their Tri-County South Division, but in the entire TCBL. If you want to look at these guys' records on the bottom of your screen, you will see you can't get much better than that. Washington Township 12-8, Cherry Hill Pitman 12-10. The only reason why Washington Township is the lower seed is because they had less points. And what is this after all? A points-based league. So that's where the discrepancy comes into play, but these teams are almost equal. So you should definitely consider an almost equal series tonight, Tuesday, and Wednesday if necessary. Now, for the folks that are tuning in from a neutral Tri-County perspective, we will be in Haddon Township tomorrow at the Ricino Fields covering the Rough Riders and the Pine Barrens. After that, though, what we cover on Wednesday is dependent on if any teams don't sweep their series. If there are games of third games that are forced in these series, then we will cover them. But if it's not necessary, we won't utilize that. So we'll see what we end up having here from Alcyon Park as these players are getting their final warm-ups in. But let's take a look at the starting lineup today for the Washington Township Senators, coached by John DiPietro to start. We've got Shane Adamski, the center fielder, batting leadoff. Raccabaldo is the pitcher batting second. Trevor Sharkey is the catcher batting third. Dylan Warburton is the right fielder batting cleanup. Mark Scarpa is the first baseman batting fifth. Alex DiPietro is the second baseman batting sixth. Dom Murata is the third baseman batting seventh. Nick Evangelista is the left fielder batting eighth. And Matt Perez is the shortstop rounding out the order. For CHP, as coached by Chase Rollins, who is the pitcher tonight, we've got Bill Rice in center field batting leadoff, Adrian Gonzalez, the shortstop, batting second, Austin Lay, the right fielder, batting third, Chris Rollins, the pitcher and DH, batting cleanup, Luke Lesh, the third baseman, batting fifth, Montana Millward, the left fielder, batting sixth, Lou Alvarado behind the plate, batting seventh, Eric Rollins is the first baseman, batting eighth, and then rounding out the order, John Griffin at second base, batting ninth. So we'll turn our attention to the field as ground rules are being drummed up, and we are about to start Tri-County League playoff baseball. We've had one playoff game between the Grizzlies and the Reds, and that ended with an incredible game from Zach Morales driving in both runs. So hopefully this game is just as good. We'll bring our attention to the center stage now as We're going to have some playoff baseball shortly. We will actually take a quick break, and when the players take the field, which may be now, so actually, hold on, we'll stay on the air for now, but CHP and Washington Township coming up next. Back here from Alcyon Park after quite a quick break. We've got Cherry Hill Pitman taking the field now as the playoffs are just about to start for real after the qualifiers are done. Now 8 teams remain, and the 5-seed Washington Township Senators are going to face off against the 4-seed Cherry Hill Pitman Ball Club. Chris Rollins starting for CHP this evening from Alcyon Park. Gonna be a fun one indeed, but I think the main question is, where are all of these other series going to lie? The South Jersey Grizzlies are playing the Gardens of Vineland. We're also going to have, we're also going to have a couple other series going on here, including the Rough Riders and the Pine Barrens, along with a few others going on in the next couple of days. But remember, Game 1 is today, Game 2 is tomorrow, and if necessary, Game 3 is Wednesday night. So again, first 3, Washington Township order flew out of my book. But anyways, first 3 will be Adamski, Raccabaldo, and Trevor Sharkey for the Senators, as Chris Rollins getting it started here for the CHP Ball Club. And I gotta say, 2 of the most evenly matched teams could not have had a better playoff series to start this, chase for the cup, if you will. You've just really got to have a 0-0 mindset. These guys are playing like it's the first game they've played all year, and they've had plenty of practice, they've had plenty of reps together, but the question is, who can pull it all together in the end and become Carter Cup champions? So just turning the page on the scorebook, Lou Alvarado throws it down into the infield, and we are about to have playoff baseball live on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We hope you're enjoying this just as much as we are from a beautiful clear skies Monday evening here from Alcyon Park, as Shane Adamski, the center fielder, will lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in Game 1, 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0. Quite a loud start indeed. I mean, you really got to give it up to him. I mean, sometimes a lot of these hitters, especially in the men's league, they like to start off by taking the first couple of pitches. They like to see what, their opponent has to offer in their repertoire. As there's a strike to Raccabaldo, but Adamski wasted no time. And there's a fly ball out to left, but it will be straight away. And coming in to make the catch for the first out is CHP. So 2 deep fly balls, and this will bring up Washington Township's own Trevor Sharkey, the catcher for today's contest. 1 out, and already 1-0 Washington Township on a long ball to left off the bat of Shane Adamski. Here's the first pitch from Rollins. Misses inside, goes to the backstop. That one misses. There's a strike. Could hear that one clear as day, and it'll be a 2-strike count to Sharkey. Dylan Warburton, the right fielder, on deck for the Senators. Time is called before the pitch can be thrown. Don't forget, the Carter Cup Finals are to be played at this very venue, August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Mark your calendars. It'll be again a best of 3 as Sharkey issues the walk, and he gets on board here to bring up the left-hander Dylan Warburton. Rollins dealing with some early pressure, and the first pitch is a strike on a fastball, 0-1. Warburton and then Mark Scarpa, the first baseman for the Senators, here in the top half of the first. Just getting started, but already a 1-0 lead for the Senators here over CHP. Fly ball, mile high, and it will go onto the softball field. Softball field running adjacent to the Pitman baseball field. Of course, Alcyon Park, one of the most picturesque venues in New Jersey baseball. Host of the Diamond Classic, South Jersey's premier high school baseball tournament, along with Pitman Panthers baseball games, as there's a strike to Warburton. And he is retired, 2 down. First strikeout for Chris Rollins, and this brings up Mark Scarpa. Rollins looks down and delivers. Foul ball. Off towards the roundabout and off the Alcyon Speedway Memorial. That's partially what this park is named after. There actually used to be a NASCAR track called Alcyon Speedway that was on this very land back in the 1940s and 50s. It was a dirt track, sort of in a triangle shape like Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, PA is now, but a lot shorter. I think it was a half-mile track, I think. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's as far as I know. There's a ground ball, foul, out towards the Washington Township dugout in the third base line. Their coach going out to grab that baseball. Alex DiPietro on deck if the inning continues. First 3 for CHP will be Bill Rice, Adrian Gonzalez, and Austin Lay in the bottom of the first. Rollins delivers and gets a whiff. A swing and a miss from Washington Township retires the side, but a leadoff home run by Shane Adamski gets the scoring going. After a half inning, it's 1-0 Senators. We'll be right back. Rich Ricabaldo starting for the Washington Township Senators as Billy Rice, the center fielder for CHP, leads it off in the bottom of the first. Senators got the action started early with a leadoff home run by Shane Adamski. Senators also got a runner on but did not score. First pitch is a strike to Rice, the center fielder. Outside, 1-1. Upstairs. Ricabaldo of Fairleigh Dickinson University with a 0.96 ERA, a rather stellar number in 28 innings this year, 5 appearances, 25 strikeouts, and a 0.86 whip, which is walks plus hits per innings pitched. That is a strike. Billy Rice didn't think so, and that won't gain you any favorability or leniency with the home plate umpire jumping the gun a little bit, but here's the payoff. Floats it out to right, and it's taken in by Warburton for the first out. It's kind of an awkward swing. I don't think Rice usually swings in that manner, but it seemed like he was just trying to make contact with anything, you know, kind of throwing stuff at a wall and hoping it sticks. But here's Adrian Gonzalez, home run derby champion in the Tri-County / South Shore League All-Star game back in the last week of June. Got to talk to him before the game, and very nice guy. I mean, seems intimidating on the outside, but you know, he's a very calm, cool, and collected figure on the inside. So, you know, great ball player, great teammate to his guys, and that's going to be a foul tip on Gonzalez. But 1 out here in the bottom of the first, just getting settled in here at Alcyon Park. Yeah, the semifinals will go back and forth between Alcyon Park and the Camden Athletic Complex, and then the Carter Cup finals will all be here at Alcyon. Oh, look out. There's a soccer camp going on over here, and there was a foul ball that could have hit somebody, so. But there's no lights on the soccer field, so that soccer camp can only last as long as the sun stays up, so. That will be interesting to see how long those screaming kiddos last for. I guess until they're tuckered out, if you will. And then Austin Lay, the right fielder, on deck for Cherry Hill Pitman, as there's a line drive base hit to left off the bat of Gonzalez. Trailing off of first a little bit, but retreating back to the bag, and that puts Cherry Hill Pitman in business here with a runner on first and 1 away. Here's Austin Lay, the right fielder. Again, he'll be followed by Chris Rollins, the pitcher / DH. Pitcher / DH / manager. A jack of all trades, if you will. First pitch to Lay is fouled off towards the on-deck circle. Strike. 0-2. Beautiful weather here in Pitman tonight, 82 degrees with a real feel of 84. Wind blowing south to southwest, which is blowing parallel to right field at 7 miles per hour and 57% humidity. By the end of the night, we'll probably drop to 75 as there's a throw over to first. However, the problem is that there is a 90% chance of rain on Tuesday, so that will be something to watch for as that misses to Austin Lay. If there are any changes in our schedule because of the impending weather, then check out our Twitter at DW Broadcasting and the Tri-County League Twitter at Tri-County Online for updates on delays, cancellations, reschedulings, anything of the sort. There's a line drive out to right center field. That is going to drop. Gonzalez rounding second. He's going to go for third, and a rather productive single for Austin Lay really gets the ball rolling here for CHP with runners on the corners now and only one out. That's called early productivity. You know, when we covered our first Tri-County League game, it was the Gartons of Vineland and Cherry Hill Pitman, and the problem was that the Gartons were good. Their pitching was very good, but they waited too long for the offense to heat up. And that's what eventually bit them in the rear in the end and gave them their first and only loss in the regular season, 18-1. So maybe it was the announcer's curse. Maybe the players got too camera shy. I don't know, but it ended up being a situation where this ended up being quite weird for the Gartons of Vineland. I mean, the only time where they even seemed to bend the knee a little bit was in that one game versus CHP, and that was really the lone exception. That one misses outside. After Rollins will be Luke Lesh, the third baseman, and then Montana Millward, the left fielder. Pokes one out towards the third base side, and it trickles into left for a tie game. RBI single, Chris Rollins. He beats it out and gets the base hit to left on a rather half-hearted swing. I mean, I don't know, but he seemed like that he was just trying to get the ball in play. Strategy's working for CHP so far. It's 1-1. Three straight singles for the CHP ball club as runners on first and second. Single by Gonzalez. He later came around to score. Lay singled, moving Gonzalez to third, and now Rollins with the grounder back up the third base side, scoring Adrian. So here's Luke Lesh, the third baseman. Lesh lifts it high, but it's going to be way up in the air. Who's got this one? Coming down with it, making the catch is the shortstop Perez, and there is two down. I mean, even with two on, if you can get out of this inning with the one run scored, it brings you kind of back to square one and kind of resets the pace, resets the momentum a little bit. Like, yeah, you had a little bit of a hiccup. You gave up the home run. You gave up the walk to Sharkey. But now you can kind of, you know, kind of shift gears a little bit and go for a different game plan for, you know, the thick of it, if you will, the most dense parts of the ball game. So with Montana Millward up, he'll be followed by Lou Alvarado, the catcher, if the inning continues. The sixth batter of the first for CHP, aka Kip's Bad Guys, which is donned on the crest of their jerseys. That one skips to the backstop, and everybody's going to get a free 90 feet here. I think that was kind of a mutual, uncontested situation there. Nobody really wanted to throw him out. Nobody really wanted to go in a full sprint to move up. But Rollins on second, Austin Lay on third. Millward trying to give CHP the lead before the inning is done. And that's ball four. Bases loaded. I mean, I couldn't really tell where that pitch was. It seemed like it wasn't really much of an argument from either side. So that will now bring up Lou Alvarado, the catcher, for CHP. that loads the bases. Lay on third, Rollins on second, Millward on first. The pitch from Raccabaldo is a strike. I mean, remember, having a 0.96 ERA and being the ERA leader in the Tri-County League in the entire regular season, all of that's kind of being put to the wayside now because of this jam that he's enduring in the first, as there's a swing and a miss, 0-2. Although it would be quite the sigh of relief if Raccabaldo can get out of this inning without much trouble, or without more trouble than he's already put upon himself. But we'll see what he can work out here. 0-2. Pokes this one out towards short, picked up by Perez, and he'll take it to the second baseman, covering the bag, and the side is retired. CHP ties the game, but leaves the bases loaded. After one, it's 1-1. We'll go to break. Here in the top of the second inning, the screaming children are just getting louder and louder. We should hire them as ESPN talk show hosts. It's the top of the second inning. 1-1 ball game between the Washington Township Senators and the Cherry Hill Pitman Ball Club here. Both teams got a run across. However, Pitman left the bases loaded in the bottom of the first, scoring that first run. So there may have been more that was left to be desired, but these next few innings will tell the tale of that, as there's a swing and a miss. Dom Murata, Nick Evangelista, and Matt Perez batting here in the second for the Senators. Again, two of the most evenly matched teams for sure in the Tri-County League. That one misses. I mean, you know, these teams had the same number of wins. CHP had 10 losses, Washington Township had 8 losses, but that was because they played less games. I mean, you know, do the math. 12 plus 8 is 20, 12 plus 10 is 22. You know, Pitman played most of the full schedule. Washington Township had a few more rainouts, and obviously with this being a very rainy summer, there were a lot of issues with getting the games in because of, you know, the rain. But this is a beautiful summer night. You know, you can't get much better than this. I know for the viewers that are watching at home, you know, if you're watching on your phone or something like that and you're just sitting at home, get off the couch, sit on your patio, sit in the backyard, sit on the front lawn, wherever you can, because if you're nearby here, it is a beautiful night, and I can 100% vouch for that. So definitely get out there and enjoy the baseball with us, because this is a great game to watch, but it's also a great day to be outdoors and have yourself a good time, as that one's a strike. To Evangelista, the left fielder, after the Murata walk to lead off to second. I have a feeling this could very well be a high-scoring game if these guys keep, you know, giving up the walks and giving up the base hits. Hefty swing and a miss for the first out. Evangelista goes down on strikes, third K for Chris Rollins, and this brings up Matt Perez, the shortstop. Strike one. That one misses low. Like I said, the Pitman soccer field doesn't have lights, so the only thing that will stop those children is the sunset. So I'm sure some of the parents will be swinging by to pick them up soon. There's not as many kids there now as there were when we got here at 6:05, 6:10-ish. That one's I thought it was going to skip away, but it was a hit by pitch. So moot point, as Perez is bringing up Shane Adamski, who homered back in the first inning to lead off the ball game. Couldn't have a much quicker start than that. Gonna have a mound visit here between Alvarado and Rollins real quick. Just about 7:30 Eastern time in the top of the second inning. Here from Alcyon Park in Pitman. First pitch to Adamski is a line drive foul. Again, out towards the roundabout. This broadcast is brought to you by DJK Roofing, South Jersey's #1 roofing supplier with over 200 5-star reviews on the web. Get a free quote today by calling 856-778-3900. 856-778-3900. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2 to Adamski of Westchester University. That was actually his first home run of the season, as that one misses upstairs, and now everybody's going to move up again. So runners on second and third, Rollins seeming to lose a little bit of his control. But going into today, a .321 average, .971 OPS, 15 walks and 11 stolen bases. That could very well be why he's at the forefront of this Senators order, maybe because of his stealing prowess and his ability to get on base. Those 15 walks, along with 9 hits and 2 RBIs, gives him a .578 on-base percentage. That's a drop third strike. Throw to first is in time, and here comes the throw to the plate, and a stolen run for the Senators. That's very smart base running right there by Dom Murata. He was very aware that Lou Alvarado was not going to cover the plate since the ball was out in front, and he came right home and scored. And it's 2-1 CHP. downstairs. There's a strike. Five strikeouts in an inning and 2/3 for Rollins, as he's already going to be approaching number 6 if he can get him here, versus Roccabaldo, who flew out to left his first time. Fifth batter of the frame for the Senators. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Roccabaldo down on strikes, and Rollins with an even half dozen strikeouts through. He's been lights out. We go to the bottom of the second inning. 2-1, Washington Township. We'll be right back. Bottom of the second inning, CHP left the bases loaded in the bottom of the first, and boy, what would the scenario be if they didn't? Because Washington Township took the lead back in the top half. A sneaky play by Dom Murata, basically stealing home, as there's a first pitch floater out towards first base, and it's taken in by Scarpa for the first out. And just like that, we've got our first out already in the bottom of the second at the hands of Eric Rollins. Now, John Griffin going to bat here. Griffin takes inside for a strike. Griffin is one of those guys that I talked to before the game, but we'll hold that for another story, as the throw over to first is in time, and Griffin is retired on a 5-3. But yeah, I got to talk to John Griffin before the game, and what was really funny was that I saw a Twitter comment that said, you know, he was, the announcer was good, but his angle was bad. And I replied to that, and I don't think he knew that I had a Twitter account, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm sorry that I said something that, you know, kind of rubbed off the wrong way. And I talked to him today, and I said, there was nothing that rubbed me off the wrong way. I said, the best thing you can do for somebody in my situation, that's a fly ball in the deep left center field, and it is going to be caught to retire the side. We'll continue that story as Billy Rice flies out to center field to retire the frame in the bottom of the second, 2-1 after 2. Top of the third, 2-1 in favor of the Senators, as we've got a first pitch strike from Rollins after a quick 1-2-3 frame in the bottom of the second inning. Washington Township got the ball rolling early on a solo home run to left off the bat of Shane Adamski on the second pitch of the game. Cleared the left field wall, hit that goal post on the soccer net that goes behind the 310 sign. As there's a fly ball out to straightaway center, taken in by Billy Rice, and there's one down. Sharkey is retired, bringing up Dylan Warburton. See, I almost said Patrick Warburton, the voice actor. He played that angry dad in the Bee Movie about 15 years ago. I believe he was in some other animated shows as well, Family Guy being another one, but still in Warburton, who struck out looking his first time. Just a quick correction, Chris Rollins has 5 strikeouts through 2 innings, but he could very well be getting close to 6 through 2 2/3. He's really been a strikeout machine. The only flaw has been that solo home run in the first, and then the tricky drop third strike play in the second inning that gave Washington Township that second run. I don't even know how I would score that. Just strikeout and an RBI. That's technically what it was. It technically was a strikeout and an RBI. No other way to put it. Gonzalez playing rather deep on the edge of the grass, as here's a ground ball out to third, picked up by Lush. Throw to first is in time, and grabbing his hammy is Warburton. He is down. That's not good. I think he hyperextended something going down the line. I could see that he was having trouble getting down there, and John DiPietro's going to come out now to talk to Warburton. Excuse me, that would be Trevor Sharkey. He was sitting on the ground waiting for DiPietro to get to him. The question is he going to be able to put weight on that? I think it was his right leg. He is going to try to walk it off, but I think he definitely hyperextended something. That was good sportsmanship, though, from Billy Rice out in center field. He helped out, got him back up on his feet, and he is going to walk very slowly back to the dugout, and I would presume that they will have to find a replacement. Now, the question is, Trevor Sharkey's the catcher, and I don't know if they have a backup catcher. They would need somebody to go out there and be behind the plate. I mean, you've got Gorman, but I don't know what position he plays. So they will have to do some very tricky camaraderie and position swapping to put somebody behind the plate, assuming Sharkey can't return. I mean, there's no athletic trainer here like there would be in a regular high school game. So it's kind of, yeah, that's never good. I mean, you know, he grabbed the back of his leg and just went down, so. But it's not like he flopped down or he fell down. He just kind of sat down and stayed there until DiPietro came to help out. So apologies for the confusion. That was Trevor Sharkey who went down. That one is popped up down the third base line and foul. Crashing up against the fence is Luke Lesh. 2-2. So Warburton, followed by Mark Scarpa. Line foul. Yeah, obviously, I mean, the problem is that Sharkey, I mean, you know, you have a bird's eye view of the dugout right now. Question is, what are you going to do? You know, it's not like he's the right fielder. Anybody can play right field. But he's the catcher. He's got his own equipment. He's got his own shin guards. He's got his own kind of glove. That's going to make the situation very difficult. Fly ball out to left, then that's going to drop for a base hit. Sorry about that. Throw over to first. Not going to do anything there, but a interesting single off the bat of Dylan Warburton. Brings up Mike Scarpa. Scarpa ended the first inning with a strikeout his first time. Strike one on the outside corner. Scarpa of Stockton University, 19 for 60. That one's foul. 773 OPS, 8 walks, 317 batting average, and a 3.19 ERA on the mound in TCBL play this year. Fouled again. Again towards the roundabout. And you also got to remember that a lot of these guys that are playing in the men's league, especially on teams like CHP, they're in their 30s. They're, you know, either college kids or, again, early 30s probably at the oldest, including Chris Rollins, as that one's a foul ball. You know, what you've got to consider is that these guys, for all intents and purposes, they are, they're not spring chickens anymore. They're more injury prone. And if you don't have the right training, if you don't have the right, you know, exercise habits, if you don't do the right stretching before, you know, and during the game and everything like that, then you're prone to that kind of, you know, that kind of incident happening. Throw over first, not in time. Warburton is able to scramble back up and get in there. Just a tough break, really, for everybody involved. Never want to see that happen. Strike and a throw down to second base. Griffin applies the tag, and the inning is over. We'll see what the situation is with the Senators. We could have a new catcher in the ball game, but we'll see what happens. After 1.5, or rather, no, excuse me, after 2.5, it is 2-1, Washington Township. Well, the mystery has been solved somewhat. It doesn't look like Trevor Sharkey's back in the game. I think that is a backup catcher. We're waiting on confirmation real quick. Can't exactly tell, but I think, especially if they're going over signs, that is number 26, I believe that is. It's, I think that says 26, so we'll figure this all out. If it's 26, that means that Nick Evangelista is now behind the plate for the Senators, and that another change has been made, and a first pitch hit by pitch starts us off in the bottom of the third for Adrian Gonzalez. So he's still 1 for 1, got on base both times so far. Bringing up Austin Lay, singled his first time. Hot shot foul down the first baseline. Yeah, they're doing some sort of like USA youth camp somewhere down there. I know that the Pitman Summer League goes on, you know, for soccer throughout the summer. But Gonzalez is going to run down to second base. The throw is in. No, didn't get him. And Gonzalez with the stolen base. So he gets in there, and this will put Lay in a good position to tie the game back up here in the bottom of the third. Hitting about 7:50 Eastern time. Lights have turned on. Sun is setting a little further. That one misses upstairs to Lay. It'll be Chris Rollins on deck for CHP. Excuse me. I mean, a fairly even hitters park here. 310 down each line, down the right field and left field lines, and then 365 to center. There's a ground ball on a weird hop out to first. Gonzalez moves to third, and Lay is retired, 1 away. How beneficial was that first pitch hit by pitch? I'll tell you. I mean, he moved to second on the stolen base and then got to third on the ground out, and still only has 1 out against him. So, you know, hey, I mean, that's called efficient base running. Not everybody's willing to take that step, but for the players that are willing to take that step, that's what separates the good from the great. That was a foul ball picked up by Gonzalez, and he flips it back to the pitcher. I've seen a lot of times like third base coaches or first base coaches go out to catch the ball if they're just in the position, especially on a line drive, and they don't do it with any gloves on. So it makes it an even stingier experience. That's another foul ball. And Gonzalez had to rush back to the bag in case he was tagged out, because that ball was hugging the line. So close call, but Gonzalez ends up benefiting from it. Or at least not getting tagged out. Did he go around? The appeal to second says that Rollins did, and he is out. First strikeout for Racabaldo. And it's Luke Lesh now. Did confirm that Nick Evangelista is now behind the plate. So they found their backup catcher. Is now a pop-up out to second. Will liberate Washington Township for another inning. A really tough break for CHP. They've gotten so close to tying the game in the last 2 innings, but have come up just 90 feet short both times. We go to the top of the 4th inning. 2-1 Washington Township. Top of the fourth inning, it's time for DWB Trivia Time, as Washington Township leads in the top of the fourth inning by a score of 2-1. As, excuse me one second there, bring up the question, please. So, yeah. Right now, the question is for DWB Trivia Time, what MLB team is considered the oldest, being founded in 1869? Is it A, the Phillies, B, the Yankees, C, the Red Sox, or D, the Reds? The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll go back to the main board as Rollins delivers. Taking outside. DiPietro, Murata, and Evangelista, the left fielder turned catcher, do up. And obviously when Sharkey comes around in the order, we'll see where all of that stands. I would assume that the only bench player, Gorman, listed on the roster, I would assume that would be the new left fielder, but I don't have any confirmation of that yet, so stay tuned, if you will. If you are just tuning in, welcome to coverage of Tri-County League playoffs here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We're looking for sponsors for the fall season. If you are a small business owner, sponsorship packages start at $150 and go from simple ad reads all the way up to commercials being filmed at your location and also social media promotions. So if you have any questions, again, email me at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com, as there's a liner to left, and it is taken in. One down. As DiPietro with a bullet out to left. Washington Township's had a lot of hard-hit balls today. You know, CHP has been a lot more innovative with it. They've hit it on the ground. They've hit it, you know, kind of just swung the bat at the ball and really hope it stuck to anything. But Washington Township has just had a lot more line drives and barrels off the bat. As there's a swing and a miss. To Murata, who struck out his first time. Outside. There's a strike. Just missed. And he got him. Big strikeout there for Rollins as he records his 7th of the night. With Evangelista now coming up. That one is hit well out towards left center field. Going back is Millward, and he makes the catch. Side is retired. Washington Township can't get much rolling in the top half. We'll see if CHP can have their rebuttal in the bottom half of the fourth. By the way, the Haddonfield Dogs beat CHBR 2-1. Chase Cooper had the win, earning 6 2/3 with 12 strikeouts. We'll talk about that more after the break. After going to the bottom of the fourth, 2-1 Washington Township. We'll be right back. It is time for DWB Trivia Time here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Today's question is, which MLB team is considered the oldest, being founded in 1869? The options are A, the Phillies, B, the Yankees, C, the Red Sox, or D, the Reds. Vince, what's your pick?
I'm going with the Red Sox.
You're going with the Red Sox? You've got Bill Cohood up here. What's your pick?
Red Sox.
Red Sox? Well, you both would be wrong. It would be D, the Reds. Cincinnati Reds, originally known as the Red Stockings, founded in 1869. Red Sox did come pretty soon after, I think somewhere in the 1880s, and then Phillies came 1883. Yankees were originally known as the New York Highlanders. That one's upstairs. So again, Nick Evangelista, the left fielder behind the plate for the Senators, he's one of the better pitchers on the Senators squad, but he's not a catcher. So he's got basically as much catching experience as I do, which is none. I mean, you know, I was the right fielder out in the little league days who would pick the dandelions and watch the airplanes and have about 5 errors a game, but you know, that's why this is my job now, not actually playing. The ground ball out to second base, and a pretty routine play there. 4-3 retires Austin Lay. Montana Millward, bringing up Lou Alvarado, the catcher. But it is crazy to me how New York had 3 baseball teams at one point. They had the Yankees, they had the New York Giants, who later became the San Francisco Giants, and they have the Brooklyn Dodgers, who became the LA Dodgers. Now, the funny thing is that New York Highlanders, I don't know where that name comes from back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, but they originally became the Yankees because one of the original Steinbrenners, whose family owns the team to this day, actually had a relative who fought in the Revolutionary War, who was like, it was one of those situations where each child was born at like when the father was like 40 or 45, so it didn't take too many generations for it to be like, you know, my great-grandfather served in the Revolutionary War, my grandfather served in the Revolutionary War, so that's where that came from. But then the Brooklyn Dodgers originally came because people in New York City had to dodge the streetcars that were going down the hill, like the streetcars, the trolleys. You know, you think of New York City today having such a go-go lifestyle that people are constantly crossing against the light at the crosswalk, and you know, they've got to avoid the taxis trying to barrel them down, as Lou Alvarado gets barreled down on a strikeout there. Second of the afternoon/evening for Raccabaldo, and it will bring up Eric Rollins. But there's actually a high school in New Jersey, Madison High School up in North Jersey, that calls themselves the Dodgers. And I'm always confused because maybe it's a New York thing, but I don't know why you'd call yourself the Dodgers if you're in a small prairie town up in Warren County. So, side is retired. CHP goes down 1-2-3. It's a breeze here at Alcyon. 2-1, Washington Township Senators after 4. We're here in the top of the fifth from Alcion Park, Washington Township, with the early edge in the Tri-County Baseball League quarterfinals. This is game one of a best-of-3 series, as this broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center, located on the 200 block of Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. Open 7 days a week for all your pet's needs, including the healthiest food choices available and the best toys and accessories for your pet and for yourself to take care of your pet. Visit today at exoticpetsnj.com. Crickets going about here tonight. A rather subdued atmosphere, but a ground ball out to Gonzalez. And the ball is booted at first. And that'll be an error on Eric Rollins. And that will get Washington Township started here in the top of the fifth inning with Matt Perez. So Perez reaches, and now here is Adamski, who again homered in the first inning to lead off the ballgame. Taking a huge lead off of first, but it's not going to matter as that's a hit by pitch. I did score that as a E3, by the way. That could very well be different in the official scorebook. But what I always tell people is that the scorecard that I write and the scorecard that the managers write is very different, because I'm a lot stricter on errors, you know, like fielder's choices and stuff like that, and sometimes I have a brain fart and I miss it. So, you know, don't take my word for it. If I say E3, if you check the box score on the website, you might not see that. It might be scored as a hit. That's not my job. So, you know, kind of take what I say with a grain of salt when it comes to scoring decisions, because I'm not a professional scorer, and this is just so that I have a better memory of the game. There's a line drive. Billy Rice makes the catch. Everybody's going to hold up rather wisely, and that will be the first out of the fifth. Don't forget, folks, DWB kicks off its first ever football season with the Cherry Hill East Cougars and the Triton Mustangs on Friday, August 26th at 6 p.m. from Highland Regional High School. Triton Regional is going under construction on their football field, so all of their home games will be played at Highland Regional in Blackwood. If there are any changes to that broadcast, as, whoa, ball got caught in the on-deck circle. Wow. Well, how about that? I mean, can't ask for anything better than that from that backup, or whoever's hitting out there, because Sharky's hurt. So I don't know if they moved eventually. I don't think you can move them up in the order, but it's definitely an interesting situation. But again, runners on first and second after the flyout by Raccabaldo. Swing and a miss. Number 33 is batting now, who I do not have on my roster. I believe that says 33. It's a weird color contrast. It doesn't pick up too well on my camera. That's 23. Still don't have that on my roster. I don't have anybody whose number ends with a 3. So the mystery man kicks in and gets a foul ball. I always tell the story of this kid, Nicholas Reed, who was on the Oakland Cougars. He was an insanely fast running back / wide receiver combo, and they didn't have a jersey for him until week 3. So for the first 2 weeks, he actually wore an oversized jersey of one of the O-linemen who had aged out and didn't need the jersey anymore. So it had the wrong name, had the wrong number, and that is a strikeout, by the way. It had the wrong name, wrong number, wrong size of helmet and pads even. It was like something out of a Hollywood movie. But what ended up making it worth it in the end is that we called him the Mystery Man. And it was great because he was so fast. He, you know, it was like you gave a 6-year-old a candy rush and put him out on a football field. He was just that fast. There's a swing and a miss by Warburton. But it was great because he scored a lot of touchdowns in the first couple of weeks and ended up, I believe he's incoming sophomore at Paul Sixth, PVI. the Catholic school down on Hopkins Road. There's a strike. But yes, Cherry Hill East and Triton on August 26th. We still have open dates, though, on Saturday, August 27th. A couple weeks, week 5, I believe, is still open. We've got a week 4 Friday night special open and a week 1 Saturday game open. So we'll try to fill those up, and when that is completely ready, we'll have our football schedule out for the world to see. We'll be having former Audubon player John Scolari as our color commentator for some football games. Charlie Grady should be joining us for some as well. So big thanks to them for volunteering and helping me. Because baseball, it's like a podcast. I can talk into the camera all day. As the runners go, they're going to not be needing a throw as the side is retired. Washington Township leaves 2 on. We'll keep it rolling in the bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Senators. We'll be right back. Beautiful night here in Pitman at Alcyon Park. The beautiful backdrop of the Gloucester County trees and the nature behind it, as we've got Washington Township and Cherry Hill Pitman here in the quarterfinals. First game out of a best of 3, as Montana Millward leading it off. And it's going to be a strike. Although I see Adrian Gonzalez on deck, so... Although I know Billy Rice is a lefty, so... Probably just getting the first 3 out there or so, so... It's upstairs to John Griffin. Excuse me. Looks like the soccer camp has officially dispersed. So we can have a quiet night from here on out, as there is a strike 3 on the outside, rather inside corner, as Griffin is down on strikes. That one gets away. Obviously, with Evangelista being the emergency catcher who doesn't... I mean, I don't know if he has any experience behind him, but... Yeah, it's a rocky road. I mean, it happens, and it's... You know, injuries are a part of the game, and you never want to see your man go down like that, but it's just kind of a fact of life, if you will. That one is down the left field line and foul. So Billy Rice again fouls it off. Full count. Rice to be followed by Gonzalez, who has singled and been hit by a pitch so far in this one. Swing and a miss. And a very unhappy Billy Rice goes back to the dugout, 2 down. You can hear that one from out here. I mean, hey, it's part of the game. Frustration and, you know, these guys obviously, if they're not happy with how they're performing out there, can obviously cause a lot of distress. You know, if you're not doing good enough, you know, look, these guys, this isn't like a 1 versus an 8 seed kind of deal. You know, these players, these teams, they definitely, they have a lot of their emotions invested into this game. So, you know, they don't just want to lay down and die. Speaking of, there's a fly ball deep out to left center field, and it will be taken in as Gonzalez fools us all with a fly out to deep center to retire the side. We go to the 6th, 2-1 Washington Township. Top of the 6th inning, Chris Rollins still working hard out there as there's a first pitch strike. To Mark Scarpa, 5, 6, and 7. Scarpa, DiPietro, and Dom Murata for the Senators. As that one misses. Scarpa batting .317 with a .773 OPS, 8 walks, 12 strikeouts, 19 for 60 this season. Rollins kicks and delivers. Strike 3 outside corner. And 41 with another strikeout as he continues to dominate out there. The only problem is his team is down by 1, and unfortunately those runs are definitely going to be needed in the end. Rollins with a 3rd straight strikeout. Outside. Ten strikeouts for Chris Rollins tonight. Just an absolutely dominant performance. The only problem is that, again, leadoff home run followed by the run in the 2nd inning. That's really been all she's wrote. We haven't seen any runs scored since the top of the 2nd. As there's a strike to DiPietro of Westchester University. Batting .209, 9 for 43. And He is 0 for 1 today, 662 OPS, 19 walks. So that 209 batting average is greatly boosted by a 453. Much more respectable on-base percentage. A very good on-base percentage at that. There's a strike. I mean, you know, you look at his scorecard and he's got 13 strikeouts, but he's got 6 more walks than he does strikeouts. And there's walk number 20. And in fact, he also walked earlier today, so make that walk number 21. As DiPietro continues to be the on-base machine that has gone rather unnoticed for the Senators, or at least under-noticed and underappreciated. Swing and a miss. Just missed. CHP seemed to appreciate it, but just couldn't get it home. Swing and a miss there. That one's popped up. Out towards short. Who's going to call for it? Gonzalez very audibly does, and he makes the catch for out number 2. And that's how you know you're a good ball player. Making those kind of catches and being communicative, you know. You just have to have the audacity to say, hey, you know, call the ball off. Look at that. John Griffin with an incredible tag. Lou Alvarado has sniped down several runners tonight, and the side is retired. Going to the bottom of the 6th. We've been moving quite quickly here in Pitman. 2-1, Washington Township. All right, here we are, bottom of the 6th inning. CHP really needs to turn on the Jets if they want to go up 1-0 in this series. I mean, Washington Township, I think, would be really, really well off if they win tonight, because they would be back in Washington Township tomorrow night And Pitman would have to not only win the ball game, but they'd have to win the ball game on the road. Now the only blemish is Trevor Sharkey going to be out for an extended period of time? Is he going to be off Tuesday and Wednesday to heal? So that begs the question, do you have your emergency catcher, who doesn't have any catching experience, start as a catcher in games 2 and 3 of a playoff series? And that's a question that I surely would not be equipped to ask or equipped to answer. But it'll be 3, 4, and 5, possibly CHP's best chance at getting ahead, with Lay, Rollins, and Luke Lesh. Count is full as Raccabaldo delivers. And that will miss upstairs. Ball 4. Big spot there. As Chris Rollins, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout, along with 10 strikeouts of his own on the mound tonight, he bats for the 3rd time. Of course, CHP tied the game on 3 straight singles in the bottom half of the 1st. Rollins launches 1 foul. Kiddo's going for the foul ball. It's a foot race. And they tackled each other to get the foul ball. Hostile territory here at Pitman. And we've got one kid still down. We've got one kid down. Swing and a miss. That was brutal. Somebody signed that guy up for the Eagles practice squad. I mean, he made a good play. It's pitched to Rollins, skips away, and it will go to the backstop, and that will be a free base for Austin Lay. And maybe, just maybe, this backup catcher situation will be what CHP needs. Rather, you know, obviously not in a sadistic way, but just in a way that kind of plays to your advantage by accident. As a little excuse me swing back to the mound, throw to first. Rollins is retired. Rollins not running it out. I mean, I get that the ball was right back to the mound, but I feel like you should exert a little more effort in that. Here's Luke Lesh. Moving over to third is Austin Lay. After the 1-3 put out for the first out of the inning. Lesh and then Montana Millward batting for CHP. Big swing and a miss, 0-1. That one skips away. Trailing off of third is Lay, but he will hold up. If that ball went all the way to the backstop, he could have scored. But that was very smart. There's a strike. There's a swing and a miss. Huge strikeout for Raccabaldo at the hands of Luke Lesh, and there's 2 down. That was big. That was big. Because now Montana Millward, who has walked in his first plate appearance and flew out to left his second time, is now in quite a tough situation as he fouls it back. I mean, obviously you consider that Raccabaldo through 5 2/3 innings, probably a little bit fatigued, I'd be very conservative here. Take as many pitches as you physically can until you're down to your last straws. There's a strike, already 0-2. Here we go. Huge spot. Tying run on third. Roccabaldo kicks and deals. Swing and a foul. Lined out down the right field line. Still 0-2. We'll try it again. The pitch. Another foul ball. Just got a piece of it. And he got him. Inning over. CHP leaves the tying run on, and that will retire the side. And a very frustrated Montana Millward slams his helmet in frustration. This has been one heck of a game, folks. We've still got an inning to play before extra innings, but CHP would have to tie the game in order for that to happen. We'll see what the scenarios play out as it's 2-1 after 6 in Pitman. We'll be right back. Sorry about the delay, folks. Here in the top of the 7th inning, 2-1 in favor of Washington Township, as it's a 1-1 count. Rollins still out there, and he'll deliver a strike. 1-2. Cherry Hill Pitman has left a lot of runners on in key situations, but now we're getting down to crunch time. As there's a strike, Rollins delivers his 11th strikeout of the night to Evangelista. 1 away. Matt Perez now. Again, will be followed by Shane Adamski. Upstairs, 1-0. There's a strike. There's a strike. Two and one. Rollins steps off. Check swing, and that will count as a strike. 2-2. This broadcast is brought to you by Proley's Printing and Bantles Banners, Signs, and Apparel, the true one-stop shop for all your print and promotional needs with a 5-star Google rating. If you need graduation, lawn signs and banners, flyers, A-frames, business cards, or envelopes done right, this is the place for you. Ground ball to second, picked up, throw to first is in time. 2 down. As Perez is retired. As now for the 4th time up, we'll bring up Shane Adamski. He homered in the 1st, struck out, but had an RBI in the 2nd, and then was hit by a pitch in the 5th. So he's reached base all 3 times. That will be a strike. Well, Rollins is arguing the point that he thinks it hit the knob of the bat. I know exactly what he's arguing about because he went up there and was about to field the ball. So now John DiPietro's out talking to the home plate umpire. Obviously a lot of discourse among the CHP players, but this is an interesting situation. I mean, Rollins went out to field the ball. I'm sure Washington Township is going to argue that it hit him, and that CHP is going to argue that it hit the knob of the bat and that it should have been a ball that was in play. Would have been a rather easy out, but looks like neither are going to get their way, and they're just going to start all over again, I guess, on an 0-1 count. I guess they would call it a foul ball, maybe? Check swing, didn't matter, that's a strike. Should be 0-2. 2 outs quickly here in the top of the 7th. CHP trying to cling on to a 1-run deficit they look to flip in the bottom of the 7th here from Alcion Park. The pitch from Rollins, just low. He's had 11 strikeouts tonight. I mean, Chase Cooper of CHBR, or rather of the Dogs, got the Haddonfield Club over CHBR with 12 strikeouts and 6 2/3. We'll see if Rollins can top that. The pitch, foul. Off the screen behind the plate. A rather quiet night here in Pitman, as you're watching coverage of the Tri-County Baseball League quarterfinals as we open the first of a 3-game series between Washington Township and Cherry Hill Pitman. The pitch just missed and popped out of the glove of Alvarado. 2-2. There is a strike, an even dozen strikeouts for Chris Rollins on what has been a fantastic night. But if you look at the scoreboard in your top left corner of the screen, the story is in the bottom of the 7th. CHP is 3 outs left before they go down 1-0 in the series and could be doomed if they don't come back. It's 2-1. We'll be right back. What a night here in Alcyon Park, and it could get a lot better for CHP if they can score here in the bottom of the 7th. But right now, it is a 2-1 game in favor of the Senators, as the first pitch is going to be upstairs and inside to CHP. To lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. There's a strike. 7, 8, 9, Alvarado, Rollins, and Griffin, none of whom have gotten on base at any point in their 2 at-bats tonight. There's a swing and a miss, 1 and 2, which may be the best case scenario for Rick Raccabaldo. One, two, upstairs. Raccabaldo still working out there with a 2-2 count to Alvarado. Alvarado grounded into a fielder's choice to end the first inning and popped out to the second baseman in the 4th. That's upstairs, 3 and 2. I mean, with a presumably fatigued Raccabaldo, you have to presume if you're the bottom 3 hitters in the order, keep the bat on your shoulders unless you absolutely have to, and that will work to perfection with a full count walk to Lou Alvarado, as now Eric Rollins will bat. Nice flock of seagulls coming out tonight. Alvarado on first, Eric Rollins coming up to the plate. 2-1 Washington Township here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch, a bunt, and it will go foul. I mean, it's kind of smart if you can play that right. If you are a good bunter, it can go right for you. Not to say that it always will, not to say that it always won't, but it's just a matter of It's just a matter of getting the bat on the ball and making that contact, which he did not do, but Alvarado on first base. A very slow pickoff throw to first. It's like he changed his mind mid-action, but with Rollins down in the count 0-1, here's the pitch. That one's popped way up, out towards second, and it's taken in. Whoa. I don't know why you're trailing so far off the bag in that kind of situation. I mean, the dugout was chirping at him, back, back, back. That was a double play. That would have been a heartbreaking way to presumably lose the game, but here is John Griffin. Up and away, 1-0. Two to 1 Senators. Bottom of the 7th, CHP with the tying run on first. There's a line drive out to short. Throw to second for 1. This could do it. Throw to first is in. No! Wow, that was a close play, and John Griffin on the fielder's choice with a collective groan from the Senators faithful. Keep the game alive as we go to the top of the order. I don't even know if John Griffin thought he was safe, but that is as close of a call as you can get, as Billy Rice will now bat. Throw to first. That might have been the best, that might have been the revenge call a little bit there if you can pick him off to end the game. Another throw over, not in time. See, what I want, if you're a CHP fan, is to have Rice get on base, Gonzalez would come up, and that would make a really enticing situation for TV. But these players aren't playing for TV. They're playing for a Carter Cup championship. So we'll see what Rice can do. The pitch. Strike. 1-1. Again, if the inning were to continue, if the ball game were to continue, Adrian Gonzalez will be on deck. Rice lifts it right center field. It's deep. It's going to get down. It's going to skip between the gap in right center field. Coming around third. Coming home to score the tying run. Can you believe it? John Griffin scores on a game-tying RBI double by Billy Rice. And it's 2-2. We were talking about enticing situations for TV. Well, how about it? Billy Rice ties the game down to his last out, and Adrian Gonzalez will come up now. Think about the fact that that play could have been called out at first, and we might have been out of here. And now, this game has been turned completely on its head with Adrian Gonzalez batting now, with the winning run on second. And now, the ball gets away, it goes back to the mound, and Rice goes to third. Hold on now. Oh, the ball hit. That's what it was. The ball hit off of the umpire. So everybody is surrounding him. I mean, he's got his chest protector on, but I think they were checking on him because he will have to walk it off a little bit. Too many injuries in this game, I tell you. But the thing is that I heard some Washington Township players look for that to be called a dead ball, and they will call that a dead ball. So Rice will go back to second, as that will not be a wild pitch, and instead it will be a dead ball after the umpire got hit with the baseball. So that's a tough break, though, because if that truly was a wild pitch at the misfortune of Washington Township's catcher, then you've again got a completely different scene with Evangelista there. But the winning run goes back to second for Gonzalez. Swing and a miss. Should be 1-1. Now Rice going down to third. The throw is in time. A risky play doesn't pay off. And now, after 7 full innings, we have free baseball, free playoff baseball at Alcion Park. We go to the 8th inning, 2-2 tie game in extras. This broadcast is brought to you under the lights by Doug Does Anything, your local handyman. For any job needed, no matter how big or small, give Doug Does Anything a call, 856-412-0118. We've got a new battery out there on the hill. We've got, Lou Alvarado is warming up, number 17 on the mound. Or on the warm-up hill down the first base line. There's a strike to, excuse me, sorry to flip my scorebook over, to Raccabaldo to lead off the eighth. 2, 3, and 4 for the Senators here in extras. And again, this is the second game in a row where we've gone to extra innings, and what is supposed to be a runner on second base is left abandoned. I don't know if every team is forgetting that that is a league rule, but that's the second. You know what? They might not do it in the playoffs. That might be what it is. Because Major League Baseball doesn't have the ghost runner in the playoffs. They don't have that. They have the, they still have like the pitch clock and everything else like that, but the ghost runner does not exist in the playoffs, which is where you still get like crazy 16-inning games. But let's just hope tonight's not one of them, considering how the offense has been for the rest of the game. 3-2 to Raccabaldo. Rollins with a ground ball back up the middle. Throw to first by Gonzalez is in time. One away. So yeah, the new pitcher out in the CHP bullpen. Does that say, it says Humes. Okay, so we'll look for a Humes on our roster. Ball inside to the left fielder for Washington Township. Fouled back. 1-1 count. Rollins with 12 strikeouts at this point. And now he's got an opportunity to earn even more in extras, as there's a swing and a miss. Up and in. Swing and a miss. Make that an even baker's dozen. 13 for Chris Rollins. With Humes still warming up in the CHP bullpen. 2 down. Now here's the really convoluted thing about the if there was a ghost runner, which I assume there's not. But Billy Rice doubled, and then he was out stealing third. So if this happened in a situation where there was a ghost runner, what would have happened is that Rice would have went back to second base to start the eighth, and Gonzalez would have went back up to bat. Now, because Rice was called out at third, Gonzalez will still lead off the bottom of the eighth, but he will not have his companion on second base. Here's the pitch. Outside. Rollins kicking a little dirt. Gets set again. Base is empty. Top of the 8th. Did confirm there is no ghost runner in the playoffs, so we may be here for a while, folks. The pitch. Strike 3. Inside corner. Slamming the bat on the ground. And the side is retired. 14 for Chris Rollins. He is on fire. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 2-2 tie ball game here in Game 1. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned, full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the Washington Township Senators were scoreless in their half of the first extra inning in this ball game. Adrian Gonzalez, who involuntarily ended the 7th inning after Billy Rice, his teammate, was out stealing third. He bats again. Remember, this guy doesn't have any regular season home runs, but was the home run derby champion in the All-Star game, in the All-Star festivities of that weekend, as there's a strike. Quickly 0-2. To Gonzalez. Gonzalez, Lay, and Chris Rollins. 2, 3, and 4. Possibly the best three-punch that you can have. The best trio that you could possibly ask for in this situation. Did he go? No, he didn't. Well, the appeal down the first was well after I said that, but I think the right fielder actually called for that, which was surprising. I think that was a very late reaction. But a ground ball out to third. Deep throw is in time. What a play at third. Murata getting it done in the hot corner. That's hard to make a throw like that, you know, across your body on the opposite shoulder. It's a lot less straightforward than it may seem, but that's what you got. That's a swing and a miss. So Lay, 1 for 2, a single, an unassisted ground out to the first baseman, and a walk in his 3 plate appearances so far. I mean, this game looked like it was going to be really quick. It's about 8:59. You know, I thought we were going to be out of here by 8:30 maybe. Or maybe not that, but, you know, an hour and 40-minute game would have been the quickest broadcast we've had all year. But then the extra innings came around and said, no, hold on. Buna and Cinnaminson is still the shortest broadcast of the year, and I'm not going to take that away. So the baseball gods have had some wonderful interference today, but there's a strike. Lay rather unpleased with that call. Kind of put his hand up in the air a little bit to show some displeasure. Ground ball up the first base line, but it is foul. Remember, that kind of call at first is correct, because even if a ball starts in fair territory, it can only be foul if it is foul when it crosses the first base bag. So if it lands foul, it can still roll back fair. And if it's fair, it can still roll foul. But another strikeout for, excuse me, for Roccabaldo, excuse me. And now here's Chris Rollins. Rollins has been 1 for 3 tonight. Single in the first, strikeout in the third, and a ground out back to the mound in the sixth. When or if we decide a winner of this game, stay tuned for the DWB post-game show presented by Doug Does Anything with the player of the game and the outlook of what's next here on our Tri-County coverage and beyond. There is a strike. 2-strike count to Rollins. Washington Township, after going down 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th, now would wish to do the same to their opponent. Pokes one out to short. Throw to first is in time. Folks, 8 innings was not enough to determine a winner. We go to the 9th. 2-2. Well, Chris Rollins is going the extra mile, let's say, as he's entering his 9th inning of work. I am running out of room on my scorecard. This is going to be quite interesting. Here's the first pitch to start the 9th. There's a strike. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. With Scarpa, DiPietro, and Murata, as there's a strike. And then Nick Evangelista for the Senators if needed, or if necessary. Pokes at it. They say he went. But they're going to throw down to first, and he's out. Wow. He didn't even break from the box, and that's strikeout number 14 for Chris Rollins. Man, I don't know if that's being oblivious or if it's just not good effort, but if you want to win the game, that ball went to the backstop to where he would have had time to run down the first if he was in a full sprint. So That is a rather lackadaisical decision, if you ask me, or a non-decision, if you will. Rollins has struck out his last 3 batters he's faced, going back to the 8th inning. By the way, again, the score updates on 2 other series. We don't have anything on the Gardens of Vineland versus the South Jersey Grizzlies, but we do have the final score with the Haddonfield Dogs beating the CHBR Third Base Club 2-1, as Chase Cooper got the win, going 6 innings and 2/3, 12 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 4 hits and no walks. Tyler Griswold with the save. And in Tabernacle, the Pine Barrens Phantoms lead the Rough Riders 6-5 in the bottom of the 4th. Make that 15. Chris Rollins strikes out yet another. And here is Dom Murata. Again, for these guys going into their 4th go-around in the order. That one misses. There's a swing and a miss. Rollins with 15 strikeouts, looking to get down the side. He does! 16 for Chris Rollins. He strikes out 5 in a row, and we go to the bottom of the 9th with Humes still awaiting in the CHP bullpen and a loose baseball while we're at it. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 2-2 ball game. Well, I wouldn't call this a hitter's duel or a pitcher's duel. I wouldn't call this a slugfest. This has just been a weird ball game, as many games are in the great game of baseball. In the bottom of the 9th, it is a 2-2 ball game between the Senators and the CHP Ball Club, as no team seems to want to win this game. Both teams are going down in incredibly quick order. It's crazy to me. These guys... There's a swing and a miss. Chris Rollins, what a night it's been for him. 16 strikeouts in 9 full innings. Looks like Humes is warming up, or was warming up in the CHP bullpen, as there's a strikeout. 1 away. Lesh retired on strikes, and this brings up Montana Millwood. Foul. 0-1. If you're just tuning in, you've missed out on a lot. It's 2-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Thank you all for sticking with us here on DWB. It's been quite a long night. There's a strike. About 9:10 Eastern Time. That one goes to the backstop. But if we go to a theoretical 10th inning, then it would be Evangelista, Perez, and Adamski for the Senators. No one's upstairs. Strike 3. And there's 2 down. Another strikeout for Racabaldo. He has just been lights out with Millward down on strikes. This brings up the catcher, Alvarado. There's a strike. Although that is number 44. That is not Lou Alvarado, but that's a foul ball nonetheless. But Racabaldo with a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts, with his first strikeout being recorded in the 3rd inning. So he's been out here for a long time, and he's been racking up the strikeouts in the middle innings and onward. Outside. Again, if Washington Township can hold on to win this game with double-digit strikeouts and a backup catcher who doesn't catch, that's going to be a swing and a miss. And after 9 full innings, we still don't have a winner. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into the longest Tri-County Baseball League game of the season. Camden and the Rough Riders have had 9-inning games twice. We will have our first 10-inning game tonight. The sky is pitch black. I can almost hear my own echo out here. It's quiet, it's beautiful, but that's okay. It's 2-2 after 9. Good. Top of the 10th inning. Chase Rollins still out there. Ground ball out to second base. John Griffin is there, and there's one away. 16 strikeouts for Chris Rollins, and he is now working into his 10th inning of work. As Washington Township is going to bring up Matt Perez. That one misses. I guess I'm still going to have some room in my scorecard, but not a lot. Gonna have to start using the margins and the extra space, but there's a strike to Perez. Both pitchers now with double-digit strikeouts on their records. There's a foul ball by Perez off the chain link fence. But yes, this is the longest game of the 2023 season. I don't know about any records or statistics about all time. I'm sure there have been 15, 16 inning games before the Ghost Runner was even a concept. Back in the 90s, I mean, remember this league has been around since 1953, but make that 17 strikeouts for Chris Rollins. There's 2 down. Back to the top of the order with Adamski, who, what feels like years ago, homered to lead off the ball game. CHP wanted a swing call, didn't get it. It's 1-0. And this has been a war of attrition tonight. To say the least. Rollins delivers. There's a strike. Another foul ball. I mean, I don't care that this is an extra innings game. Striking out 17 batters in one night is incredibly impressive. Alvin DeJesus did it with Penn Tech over Leap Academy earlier this year in NJ High School. Threw a perfect game in 5 innings. And Rollins was just about to leap off the mound. An incredible, exuberant celebration, but he just didn't get it. I think that could have been in there, could have gone either way, borderline call. But it's 2-2. Rollins looking for a 12.5. He's not going to get it on that pitch. It's a foul ball. Again, Rick Roccabello on deck if the inning continues here in the top of the 10th. Getting into the late night hours at Alcyon Park. Never a dull moment here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Again, Rollins kicks and delivers. The 2-2 is down, 3-2. I mean, I'm just shocked that Humes hasn't come in the game yet. I mean, how is Rollins not tired? Maybe he is, I just don't know it, but they've got at least 1 or 2 guys ready to go. That ball is crushed. That ball is deep. That ball is gone. Go ahead, homer in the 10th inning, Adamski. His second of the night. And at the bookends of the ball game, it's 3-2. Are you kidding me? Shane Adamski homered about 2 hours ago on the second pitch of the game, and now deep into extras in the 10th inning, he has done it again. It's 3-2 Washington Township. That is incredible. Swing and a miss. And now imagine if CHP doesn't fight back. Because then Chris Rollins would have 17 strikeouts and a loss. That ball is hit high. About 4 people are converging for it. Gonzalez calls and makes the catch, but the damage was done. Washington Township takes the lead on a wall scraper of a home run by Shane Adamski just over the head of the left fielder and left. They're going to bring that ball back in and bring it to its rightful owner because that ball was smoked. 3-2 going to the bottom of the 10th. CHP again on their last breath in Game 1. Rick Roccabaldo looking for a 10-inning win with 10 strikeouts. Chris Rollins, after that solo home run by Shane Adamski in the top of the 10th, now is on the verge of having a 17 strikeout loss if the score holds the same. There's a strike to Eric Rollins. It's 1-1. It's Rollins, John Griffin, and Buddy Rice, who tied the game in the bottom of the 7th inning on an RBI double to right center when CHP was down to their last out. There's a strike. Rollins pokes one right at second base, 1 down. Couldn't have placed that any better for the Senators. And now CHP down to their last 2. Here's John Griffin. He reached first on an E1 and later came around to score on that RBI double by Buddy Rice. Upstairs. And Roccabaldo's still throwing hard. He's still giving crisp fastballs. And he is still delivering to the best of his ability. There's a strike. The sun is down, lights are on, and it's showtime. Roccabaldo with a 2-strike count to Griffin. That one is way upstairs, right at the helmet. Should be 2-2. In the bottom of the 10th, 3-2 Washington Township. That one is going to be ball 4. I think the home plate umpire got hit again. We'll have to walk that one off again. And this isn't the first time. I mean, they're again looks like he might have gotten hit on the arm. The umpires have had more hit by pitches than the batters have tonight. I mean, they, again, some of the the CHP players, Alvarado and Gonzalez out there to speak with the home plate umpire, make sure he's okay. So Griffin on first. And now it will be Billy Rice, who had the RBI double in the bottom of the 7th inning when CHP was down to their last out. But can he strike lightning in a bottle again? And again, Adrian Gonzalez, who's a good power bat, is on deck. Probably one of the best all-around players you can have, even if you don't hit a home run. Get Rice on base and get Gonzalez to slap a ball up the middle or something, because he's got a couple of hits tonight. That's a line drive out to second. This could do it. There's one. Throw to first is not in time. And Rice keeps the game alive with a fielder's choice for Adrian Gonzalez. What's going on here? So DiPietro, the manager, is having a disagreement over the play at second. From what I was able to hear, it sounded like maybe a slide interference or something, but the umpires will convene over this. I mean, I wouldn't personally overturn a call to end the game like this. I would just leave it as is, because with Gonzalez right now having that single in the first, hit by pitch in the third, but 2 outs in his other at-bats, I would just imagine leave it as is, put Rice on first base, and I think that's what they'll do. So Gonzalez given another chance here, his 5th at-bat of the night. Bottom of the 10th inning, 3-2 Washington Township. The Senators lead CHP in what has been a roller coaster of a game, from surefire defeat to innings and innings of strikeouts after strikeouts. There's a strike to Gonzalez. Like we said, both starting pitchers have gone all the way. No relievers in all 10 innings. A combined 27 strikeouts. As Gonzalez floats one foul, it's 0-2. Out towards the grass on the Pitman soccer field. Rick Roccabaldo getting ready. He stares down his emergency catcher. Time is called. Again, Billy Rice on first. If Washington Township wins, Game 2 will be tomorrow night in Washington Township. A very slow throw over to first. And then Game 3 will be back here if CHP pulls it out. But CHP, being the slightly higher seed, makes this a very even series. The 0-2. Up and away, 1-2. Gonzalez having to be quite careful here with 2 down and 2 strikes. Outside, a pretty ambitious non-call there from the center fielder Amensky. But here we go. Swinging a foul tip. It bounces off the catcher's mask. Throw to first is in time. And Washington Township, in the longest game of the 2023 season by number of innings, pulls out a chaotic Game 1 win over CHP by a final score of 3-2. What a game this was. Chris Rollins of CHP gets 17 strikeouts, and then Rick Roccabaldo of the winning team, the Senators, gets 10 strikeouts. Actually, that counts as 11 there, and gives us 28 on the night combined, as the Senators will go home happy and will have the quite beneficial edge of being the home team tomorrow night in Game 2 at Washington Township High School. Folks, stay tuned, as the DWB postgame show presented by Doug Does Anything, your local handyman, will be coming up next with your player of the game being Shane Adensky. We'll be right back, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the DWB postgame show presented by Doug Does Anything, your local handyman. For any job needed, no matter how big or small, give Doug Does Anything a call, 856-412-0118. We've got two players at the game today, one sitting on the grassy berm and one with us right now. First of all, Adamski, oh my gosh, I mean, what a game it was for you. I mean, the fact that you and your pitcher, Rick Roccabaldo, just had such a great night, and it was a great night for you guys as well, being able to win game one on the road. How do you guys feel out there?
We felt good. We were confident all day. We were a little low on guys today. Had some guys get hurt early on, so just everyone who stepped up. I mean, we're just a lot of guts today. Rich throwing however many pitches he threw, 10 innings strong. I mean, you can't ask for much more from your starter, so it was a good team win. We feel good going into game two.
And also, you guys are going to be the home team in game two, so that's going to be even more important going forward. But this game was the longest of the Tri-County baseball season in terms of innings, with 10 total. I believe Camden and Rough Riders had 2 9-inning games at one point during the regular season, but this is 10, and it was a pitcher's duel on and on and on. I mean, 28 combined strikeouts from Rock and also from Chris Rollins of CHP. So, obviously you were pretty instrumental in the offensive side of the ball with a home run in the first and a home run in the 10th. How'd you feel out there at the plate today?
I've seen it pretty well. We knew Rollins a pretty good arm. We've seen him earlier in the year and last year, but we know he's one of the best in the league. So I just stuck to my approach. Saw a fastball my first at bat. Took it to left field, and then I worked the full count my last at bat, and he hung me a breaker and just got my barrel out and then stuck it out.
And the fact that you had 2 home runs in the game, 2 of the 3 RBIs on the night, I mean, you were pretty instrumental in the offensive effort. How do you feel you did out there for your team? And, do you have that kind of sense of accomplishment, that proud feeling that you have, considering that you pretty darn easily, one-handedly helped you guys move on to game 2 right now in a 1-0 lead?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to do my part, man. We got Rich going. I can't talk enough about him. Evan stepping up, catching when we needed him to. It was a team effort on defense. I mean, the bats weren't really going much tonight, but I mean, we made the plays in the field. We got runners on when we had to, and we got the win.
And with you being backed up by Rich out there, now you guys are in a position up 1-0, going back to Washington Township in game 2. What is the game plan? What are you guys going for, and how do you feel?
We're just going to play our game. I mean, we're confident in what we do out there. We got a lot of arms still ready to go. We got a lot of at-bats tonight, so just being able to see the ball that much off a good arm like Rollins, we'll be able to come back tomorrow and hopefully be on the barrel a little bit more. But our pitching and defense has been outstanding, so we hope to repeat that next game.
Well, thank you, Shane. You are one of the 2 players of the game presented by Doug Does Anything. And we'll bring our second one over here right now. Rick Roccabaldo, we had to let Shane go early because he's got a movie in 15 minutes. So, no, he's seeing Sound of Freedom. I was hoping he was going to see Barbie. But anyways, Rick Roccabaldo, what a night. 11 strikeouts in 10 innings, leading your team to a win. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm coming off a good college season, so compared to that, this is just fun, so I'm just excited to be out here pitching.
And it's obvious that you were helping those college scouts over at FDU, and those college coaches really show why they picked you up, because you were just an absolute force out there tonight. I mean, with the 11 strikeouts and Rollins having 17 as well, 28 combined strikeouts on the box score. I couldn't believe that number when I read it off my scorecard, and it was incredible. And the fact that you guys went all 10 innings, you guys were up 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Then Rice of CHP got that game-tying double. How did you work through the adversity and still stick strong through those extra innings?
I know Bill's a good hitter, so every time he comes up, I got to have my best stuff. He's hard to strike out, so that's not the ideal guy you want to see with a tying run on second, but It is what it is.
And the fact that you also had to work through an emergency catcher. Trevor Sharkey got hurt in the 3rd inning and had to be taken out, and your left fielder, Nick Evangelista, came in with no catching experience. So what was the process like working through that tough moment and make sure that Evangelista knew what he was doing and made sure you were giving him the benefit of the doubt with no catching experience?
Yeah, so Nick is actually, me and him go back to like first year of high school. That's my throwing partner, so he knows that we've been having a catch for over 5 years. He knows exactly what I want to throw when I want to throw it, so it was pretty easy.
And it was also good that it seemed like because of that relationship, there were a couple wild pitches, a couple pass balls, but you guys still worked through it. Now, as we go deeper into the extra innings, I mean, I don't know how many pitches you threw. I don't have that specific count on my scorecard, but you threw a lot, let's say that. Going into game 2, you guys are also going to have to, work around the pitching strategy and get the offense rolling because, with some of these guys having offers in the order as well, the 3-2 game in the 10th inning doesn't show a lot of offense. So going back to Washington Township in game 2, what are you guys going to do differently from tonight that will help you guys in the end?
Hopefully we can just get a little bit less strikeouts. I mean, what do you have, 17 strikeouts?
17 strikeouts for Rollins, yeah.
That's just insane. Putting the ball in play a little bit more would help us get some base runners on so we can create our action. We like to do some small ball, and that's hard when you strike out 17 times.
Yeah, and the small ball was not so evident between the Shane Adamski 2-home run game. I mean, how about that? I mean, your teammate really backed you up there. And, we were just talking to him a minute ago, but your offense backing you up and getting you hyped in the end, how do you feel going into game 2 overall?
We've got a lot of momentum, going up to that first at bat. I just told Adamski be a spark plug, and he hits the second pitch out. So you can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, I was barely writing the names down in the scorecard,
yeah.
and it was over the left field wall as
Yep.
soon as I knew it. So, thank you, Rock. You are the second of 2 player of the game.
Appreciate it.
No one counted less sincerely than the first. But from everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, the final score here from Alcyon Park in Pitman, Washington Township 3, CHP 2. Game 2 tomorrow will be at the Ricino Fields in Haddon Township, across the street from the Tap Room Bar, between the Rough Riders and the Pine Barrens Phantoms. From everybody here at DWB, we will be signing off for now from our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, my producer, Vincent Vogt, and myself, Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow in Haddon Township, 6 p.m. start time, 5:45, pregame show. Let's have a day tomorrow. Let's have a day Wednesday if there's a game 3. Stay tuned on our Twitter at DW Broadcasting and the Tri-County League Twitter at Tri-County Online for more updates on where we'll be for a potential game 3 on Wednesday. So good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, 5:45.